Hey guys, welcome back to ArtosisCasts. Pretty excited about the match here today. It's going to be Rain going up against Action. I mean, these are definitely two of my favorite players to see playing. Why are they talking to each other in English? I love it. So yeah, Action down here. You know, he's been one of the better kind of macro Zergs for a long time, but he's been a little bit cheesy in the last few years. And I've talked about his kind of weird history a bit. So he was considered the hardest working pro gamer in existence alongside Luxury at one point, like back in 2008, 2009. He was actually kind of well known for that. He just practiced more than anybody, just a workhorse. I lived with him for over a year in the Eastro house, and it was just like everyone knew it in the pro scene. And eventually he went to KT when Eastro disbanded, and, you know, he didn't have, like, great success. In ASL, he became a pretty regular fixture, even up to the round of 8. But eventually Action, you guys might remember a few years ago, announced his retirement, and within a week he was back, which is a funny thing that happens to tons of StarCraft players. You think you're done, and then you're like, actually, no, I'm not. Now, after he came back from that retirement, he became super cheesy. It felt to me like he didn't have the same drive as he had before. I don't want to overanalyze him because we don't actually know what's going on in his head, but everything kind of lined up like that, and it looked like that, and he hasn't been in ASL for a few seasons now. Didn't he miss the last 2? I think he was in it 3 seasons ago. But the games I've seen of Action more recently, I guess I haven't cast him on this channel too much super recently, but I've seen some monster macro games coming out of him. So I don't know. Maybe he's reinvigorated. Maybe I'm reading too much into what has happened historically with him in the past and what his style is looking like at the moment. But Action right now, to me, looks very good in the recent games that I've seen. A lot of bigger macro games going on from him. Okay. Rain, well, he's the talented guy. What was it? Like maybe 5 days ago or something like that, there was a game of Rain versus Sue on Dominator where he did a strategy that I had never seen that was totally wild. And I saw a comment left on that video that was fantastic, where it was something to the effect of, lazy people find easy ways to do hard things. I loved that. I love that. Not to say that Rain is necessarily lazy, but he practices much less than other players. He's like I've said, in my opinion, he's the most talented Protoss we've ever had. I saw some other people say that recently, some Korean players. So, and I'm not surprised. Like, I mean, I think my analysis is pretty solid. I really don't do anything other than watch and study StarCraft. So, but yeah, he's unbelievably talented. It's great to see him active right now. You know, obviously those ASL qualifiers will be coming up, and I'm hoping to see some other interesting things coming out of Rain. Now here, he's actually just left 2 Zealots here for a long time. I think he's basically waiting for the timing where he knows the Lings should be basically across the map. And see, Action has to turn around. Anytime you can do this at any point in the game, this is such a powerful move. If you can get your opponent to turn their army around, the amount of games that are won and lost by just that. Now, obviously, this game is not being won or lost by him getting those Zerglings to turn around. But you're basically taking what Action wanted to do, and you're saying, nope, you do what I want you to do. And that's big. Okay, great surround there from Action. He's going to get that Zealot basically for free. And this one's going to get somewhat heavily surrounded. Good micro from Action overall. Looks like he'll only end up losing 1 Zergling there. So that was very good micro from Action. Taking a look back at Rain's side. Hasn't made a cannon yet. Does have the cybernetic score on the way. He should be starting a cannon now. And actually did send 2 more Zealots down. So yeah, still wants to force Action into a few more Lings. Now the Hydraless Den is on the way, and we're on 21 drones. Excuse me. So that is a 3-hatch Hydra build. He does have speed on the way as well. Generally, you do want to get another drone. Yeah, there it is. 22 drones is the norm, although we've seen a lot of 23 drone more often. In fact, he's droning up a little bit more heavily, which I think is fine. Like, you know, we have these like certain levels that you're supposed to hit, but 3-hatch Hydra busts at high levels aren't busting anywhere near as much as they used to. Like, every Protoss has gotten better. So I think it's probably already happened. I don't keep track of as much of the tiny details of Zerg vs. Protoss builds as I do of any Terran build. That's just me being a Terran player. But, like, I bet you it's already occurred. Oh, I love this. Where everyone's droning up a little bit extra because you just basically you have to make them think that it's the Hydra all-in. Like, for a long time we've seen Hydra attacks that aren't all-ins, but I'm saying you maybe you shouldn't even optimize it to the 973 numbers, right? Like, maybe instead you should be going for like extra drones, but just, you know, just the right number where your opponent doesn't quite know what's going on and they still have to react the same way. Right? Does that make sense? I think it does. I think you understand what I'm saying. So we kind of see that here, 24 drones, right? He has already started an additional macro hatchery. He is going to send some Hydras out. He has Zergling speed. He has Hydra speed, Hydra range on the way. I think what'll happen here, though, is he'll stop making Hydras after a little bit, right? Like, he's going to put this pressure on. Okay, he pushes the Corsair back. He's going to continue to send up some Hydras. He's going to make a scary flock of Hydras in the front, and then I think we're going to see a big drone round in a layer. That's my guess on this. So still Hydras being produced. The Corsair coming down. Of course, he wants to check. He sees 4th hatch. That's not uncommon. Sees no layer. Sees Hydras continuing to hatch, so he might even add some additional cannons. We'll see. Another hatchery going up, so you can see, like, action is building into that later, better macro game. Oh, we just had that probe down there. That might have just been a rally out of there. I saw it, like, kind of come up this way. I was like, oh, is he thinking about another cannon? He actually has quite a few zealots, so I kind of see why he's sitting on 4 cannons, but yeah, sometimes I feel like I have a hard time deciding exactly how many cannons someone needs. Occasionally, I'll see a hold where I'm like, oh, I thought he needed one more there. Here, I felt like he needed one more, but I guess not with that many zealots there. He kind of, like, chewed up the lings really quickly. Action is doing a great job killing the wall right now, and if he gets that +1 attack, that's going to be fantastic. I think once this dies, Rain will actually maybe move out, because otherwise he's going to lose this. The thing is, though, if he moves out, I don't think these zealots beat this army. And by the way, Action hasn't really been droning like I thought he would. He's actually been making more Hydras, so maybe I got that call wrong on that. And he actually is... Dude, he just saved it. He just saved it. That was insane timing. And he pulls back just in time. Like, he saved that as close to death as he possibly could have. That +1 attack upgrade is pretty crucial. So, great job on Rain on saving that. Huge amount of Hydras out here, and just now some drones really being added in for Action. He had made a couple during that attack, but not as many as I thought he might get into. And he hasn't even really shown this extra group. The Corsair has been pretty active, so Rain has a good idea of how many Hydras are out. You know, he's checking drone counts, he's checking what's hatching out of eggs, things like that. So I feel like he's got good information. He knows that there's a lot here. He's got the 6 cannons, though. High Templars are out. Storm is almost done. Adding those additional gateways, going up to 6 at the moment. I'd imagine he'll go to the 8. He's on 46 probes, so... Okay, he is adding a few more. Okay, so it, like, definitely looks like he's going to be, you know, playing for a longer game here. Robo gets started, so it looks like he's a little bit nervous about the potential... Ooh, well, that second storm wasn't that great. The potential of lurkers coming up as the follow-up here would kind of make sense. You know, we're on Radeon, where you have this kind of thin choke. If you could get a row of lurkers here, it'd be pretty scary. Dragoons being made. And this is where Rain really shines, is mid-game in Protoss vs. Zerg. He's very, very good at getting out a nice, solid mid-game army and doing some nice pushes. But I feel like Action is playing this really well. Like, he's droning beautifully right now. Look at this. He's got 47 drones against just 52 probes. He's getting an additional hatchery, so going up to 6 hatch right now, which is really about what you want on 3 bases once you get your drones out. Pulling the Hydras back as well. Looks like he doesn't really want to have the potential of Rain running out, getting a couple good storms, and getting damage with those Zealots as well. The Lurker upgrade, as well as the Spire on the way. This is something I'm really interested in. Are we going to see what was going on in the Queen Paralyzed game on Knockout from... That might even have been yesterday. Yeah, anyways, the thing that we've been seeing a little bit more recently, where it's not like just Muta Hydra or just Hydra Lurker, but like a combination of all three units, where it's a difficult to attack defense, but not like invulnerable, with the mutas flying around. That's been highly, highly interesting to me. So I'm really looking forward to seeing if that's what Action's going to do, because I see the Lurk upgrade and the Spire. That doesn't mean that he's going to do that, but we'll see. You know, the Corsair count obviously is super low, so he's not going to be worried about that. It does feel like a great time to go into some Mutalisks to try to pick off the High Templars. Now, Rain comes down and he clears out this general area. Looks like he's going to go ahead and set up his third Nexus. Just constantly producing at the moment. Heavy Lurkers being made. No Mutalisks. So, yeah, it looks like he popped a few Scourge. These might be to snipe observers. These might be to catch a shuttle. You know, Scourge just going to be a very useful unit in general. So it doesn't look like he's going to go for that style that we've been seeing popping up a little bit. It looks like it is going to be a heavier Lurker Hydra style, which actually, in my opinion, fits with the way that Action plays a little bit better. Okay, so a big burrow of Lurkers. This is not going to be an area you really want to attack into. A counterattack of Hydras, but no third Nexus. So this is actually a stronger attack than what you might think. And in fact, with all those Hydras out of the way, this might be the best move that Rain has at the moment, is trying to force his way over this tiny bridge. The Lurkers, a couple of them get stormed, but he's getting slowed enough that he feels like he has to back up. And there's the Scourge just picking off, you know, the Observer there, which is super, super annoying. Takes 3 Dragoon hits, and they have low attack priority. That's one of the big problems with Scourge, is how low the attack priority is compared to everything else. Like, it's just hard to protect flying units against Zerg, because if they have anything else there, your units attack that instead of the Scourge. And that even counts with Mutas. Like, that's one of the ways you kill battle cruisers, is you just bring Mutas to fight the BCs, and then the BCs would have to individually target Scourge, because the Mutas have higher attack priority. It's a wild thing about StarCraft that really contributes a lot to the balance of the game. People don't think about enough. Okay, another big attack in here from Rain. The Hydras are coming down for a flank, so I actually think Action's going to be fine here. As long as he has a little bit left over as the Hydras get here, he should be good, I think, right? Like, you have to turn this army around and attack back into the Hydras. Ooh, actually gets caught on those doodads a little bit. Going to take a bit more damage on that army than I thought. One group of Hydras going over to the right, the other going to the north. And it looks like he does want to hit this base. A group of Zealots there, but I guess with Micro, he can kind of fight those. Looks like he wants to pull back for now, though. Hydra's moving towards that top left. Don't forget, of course, Rain did go up here. I didn't say it out loud, but you kind of saw it. The couple Zealots were left to finish that off. Some upgrades now finishing for Action. He's getting +2 range attack, +1 carapace. Over on Rain's side, what side is Rain on? He's got 1-1 with 2-2 on the way, as well as Kadarin Amulet for those High Templars to get more Psy Storms. So that's going to be kind of nice. Makes a Lurker Egg here. That actually missed the egg. That's kind of funny. Oops. Yeah, the edges of Storm are kind of funny. Like, a lot of spells are like that, where graphically, like, the right side might not cover something, whereas like the left and bottom cover it a little bit more than you think. That happens with Dark Swarm a lot with me, where I'm like, wait, that's under Dark Swarm, but that isn't. And yeah, we just kind of saw something similar with the Psy Storm. Now he comes up here. There's no hatchery or anything. This is almost a fake out from Action. I think he's just trying to preserve those Hydralisks. But this is a big chunk of army that's going after a small chunk of army. So we'll see if that really makes a big difference. Now, Action has expanded to the bottom right. That is a very strong defense, really well spaced. All the Lurkers more than a storm apart. So if you do try to break that with storms, it's not going to be super efficient. Drones right now, he wants to pull these back. You don't want those long distance mining. It's going to give away what's going on. I think he probably knows anyways. But it looks like Rain wants to go for a kill. Very good first Psy Storm. Really strong Psystorm so far. He's damaging a lot of the army as well as the lurkers as the army charges forward. And now he's going to be able to break through these lurkers. Like, this is exactly where Rain shines. These mid-game attacks with lots of Dragoons in him. He hits as 2-2 is done. I love how he's switching into Plasma Shields as well here, his +3 attack. Really, really solid mid-game here from Rain. And in fact, getting ready to set up another base. A group of Zealots coming down. He's got to be careful not to lose these Dragoons. I think he's got this game pretty wrapped up at this point, though. Still has one Psystorm left. Probably should think about an Archon as well. Yeah, hits that Psystorm right on those Lings as he should. Gonna make an Archon. And as long as he micros these Dragoons reasonably, I think he's good to go. The Zealots going towards that base in the bottom right, as opposed to coming over here and helping out the Dragoons. I find that kind of interesting. But either way, I think both were going to be a victory. But the Zealots getting up here do force the tap out from action. That was a very nice game overall, I think. You know, Rain definitely looked stronger than Action, which I guess is... It should be the natural way of things. Like, Rain is a stronger player than Action overall, but looking good. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed. We'll see you next time.